Game 2 of our basketball doubleheader here on Service Electric Cable TV on this Saturday. Paul Garrity with you this evening from the Carpenter Gym on the campus of Wyoming Seminary High School. Boys contest between the Blue Knights of Wyoming Seminary and the Southern Columbia Tigers. So glad you could join us. Should be a pretty good one. The opener for Southern Columbia. Apparently the Tigers so used to being in the state championship football game that they don't even bother scheduling any basketball games until mid-December. Well, Wyoming Seminary has already played a handful of games. And we're underway with Wyoming Seminary in the home whites, Southern Columbia in their usual black and gold trim. As Seminary attacks the basket to the right side of your television screen. Give you the starting lineups in a moment. And I thought we might have our game's first foul, but instead just a baseline out of bounds for Southern Columbia. Executed to perfection. That's Jacob Hoy for Southern Columbia, their starting forward. He starts along with number 0, Isaac Carter. William Swank is number 2. Number 13, Brian Britton, and Dominic Fedorolf is number 32. That's the starting lineup for the Southern Columbia Tigers. Now for Wyoming Seminary in the home whites. Alex Aiello is number 1 with the basketball. This is Lewis Michaels. Brian Leahy, number 33, their second leading scorer on the season, has it now. Rounding out the starting 5 is number 21, Terry Kraus, and their leading scorer, number 24, Jack Novelli. Man-to-man for the Tigers to start the game. If you missed it earlier, Wyoming Seminary girls got a victory. A 49-20 win over the Susquehanna Sabres. Leahy launches and misses, and the rebound yanked down by Gallagher. Up ahead, and the Tigers waste no time. For 4-0 Southern Columbia. Hoy working against Novelli. And a quick timeout called by the Wyoming Seminary sideline. We've played just over 2 minutes. And Wyoming Seminary, kind of lethargic start to this game. They trail Southern Columbia 6-0. Dump it down into Leahy with Sem trying to get on the board. This is Novelli, their leading scorer. Guarded by Hoy on the perimeter. Aiello gets deep and scores. 6-2 Tigers. Down low, Hoy carving out space, and he's got 6 early points, and the Tigers lead 8-2. Seminary coming off a real disappointing loss in their last game. 74-41 pasting at the hands of Wyoming Valley West, who had been a team that had struggled to put the ball in the basket up until that game. Real disappointing effort for Sem in that one. Looking to get back on track here at home. Novelli, difficult shot off the up and under. And Jack Novelli's first shot goes down. And it's 8-4, Southern Columbia. Deep one launched by Britton. And the putback for Gallagher. Nate Gallagher gives Southern Columbia a 10-4 lead. And they've gotten everything they've wanted offensively in the opening 4 minutes. Again, Seminary playing without the services of Antek Ivan, who's been out for the Blue Knights since their opener. And a 3-ball knockdown to slice the lead in half. It's 10-7. Britton, the baseline drive. Rebound collected by Aiello, but he put his head down and had it ripped away by Gallagher, who scores. 12-7 Tigers. Novelli comes around a Leahy screen and a foul called against Isaac Carter. 3-man officiating crew tonight: Alan Keyes, Pat Roman, and Joe Zielinski. .249 to play in the first. Little screen roll. Leahy gets hammered. We'll see if they call it a shooting foul. And it looks like they're going to give him 2 shots. Brian Leahy, the second leading scorer for Sem on the season. Three-point shot he knocked down just a moment ago was his 6th of the season. (12-9) Tigers. Still 2.5 to play in the high-scoring first quarter, and Hoy gets free underneath again. That's way too easy. If you're Dan Messinger and the Knights, they trail 14-9. And a foul called against Britton. Trying to deny the pass. Team foul number 3 against the Tigers. Hoy goes to the bench. Dominic Fedorov returns to the Southern Columbia lineup. Liam Davis chucks up a triple, and it's called a 2. Had a foot on the line, but Liam Davis, just off the Sem bench, knocks down a jumper. Lead cut in half again. It's 14-12. And Sem just cannot get a stop on the defensive end. There'll be 2 free throws here for Brian Britton. First foul of the game against the Knights goes against Novelli. 1:43 to play, opening stanza. Both teams getting a lot of good looks at the rim. 15-12 Tigers, and now Aiello has a lane to the hole. There'll be 2 free throws coming for the Seminary point guard. Not sure if he called glass or not, but counts just the same. It's the first free throw I've seen banked in a boys basketball game in quite some time. I've seen a couple already in girls basketball this year. 3 for 4 are the Knights from the free throw line. They trail by 2. As Jacob Hoy comes back in after a short rest. Isaac Carter to the Sem bench. Or to the Southern Columbia bench, I should say. Leahy elevates and swirls it in. 7 first quarter points for Brian Leahy. We're deadlocked at 15 apiece. Braden Griscavage is in the game for Southern Columbia. Takes that shot. A back rim miss. Gallagher sets up Foy, and Jacob Hoy having himself a first quarter. He's already in double figures. And again, the Tigers lead by 2. 25 seconds to play in a high-scoring first quarter. Aiello off the mark. See if the Tigers want to play for 1 here with 12 seconds to play in the first. Gallagher makes his move with 4 seconds. Britton has to hoist it up. Almost got it. We've played 1 in a back and forth first quarter here at the Carpenter Gym in Kingston. And it's Southern Columbia 17 and the Blue Knights 15. You're watching high school basketball on Service Electric TV. Kind of an interesting situation here that I thought came up last time I was here at Seminary for a boys game. According to my numbers, I have Seminary with 14 points. On the scoreboard it says Seminary has 15 points, and there was a shot by Seminary that was called a 2 on the court that was awfully close to being a 3, and either my numbers here that I'm keeping are wrong, or the scoreboard has an extra point up on the board. But nobody said anything about it, so we'll play on. 15 seconds into the second. Southern Columbia has a 2-point lead. Here's Michaels. Wow. Wild shot up at the rim. And a kick ball. We'll give it back to Southern Columbia. Down low, Greskavage got a good look at it, but couldn't finish. And a foul called against the Tigers. That's the first against Jacob Hoy, who had 10 first quarter points. Again, this is the first game of the season for Southern Columbia. Wyoming Seminary is playing its 6th. They've won 2 of their first 5. Coming in losers of their last 2 to Marion Catholic in that blowout loss to Valley West that I mentioned before. Leahy out to Aiello. Extra pass, here's Davis for 3. And the second effort swatted out of there. Gallagher. Brian Britton back on the floor for head coach Mike Wojtovich and the Tigers. And they play screen roll with their 2 top scorers, that time a turnover. Saved in, this is Liam Davis for Sem. And an offensive foul called against Davis. Nate Gallagher got set, took the contact. Gallagher was definitely set. The only question was he too far underneath the rim to get that call? Greskavage dumps it down to Foy. Another layup for Jacob Hoy. He's got 12 points, and I don't think he's made a shot outside of 4 feet yet. 19-15, Southern Columbia leads it. Now Hoy with the rip. Gallagher ahead of the pack. And this quarter started about the same as the first quarter started. Seminary turnovers leading to easy Tiger points on the other end. .5:35 to play, first half. Southern Columbia has never trailed in this game. Novelli, tough shot. Jack Novelli has 2 baskets tonight, and they've both been difficult shots with a man closely contesting it. Again, extra pass. Britton gets the bucket. Tigers have looked like a well-oiled machine in the half-court offense this evening. Pretty impressive in their opening game of the year. Tigers have not made a 3-point shot yet. I don't even remember them taking one. It's been all shots close to the rim here in this first half. Leahy into the paint. And that's a good defensive trip there by Southern Columbia. They've defended the screen roll pretty well in this first half. .420 to play in quarter number 2. It's 23-17 Tigers. Britton chiseling out space in the paint. Brian Britton has 5 first half points, and it's the biggest lead of the night for Southern Columbia. 25-17. And a foul called against Southern Columbia, their third of the quarter. William Swank checks back in for the Tigers as Britton goes to the bench. Aiello gets a step, but got in too deep. And a foul whistled against the Knights. That's the first against Aiello. Ben Garrett is in the game for the Tigers for the first time. He just took that shot. Novelli pull up from 14, rattles off, and Garrett snares the board. Swank on a bounce feed inside, and Isaac Carter gives Southern Columbia a double-digit lead for the first time. It's an 8-0 run by the Tigers. Novelli into the teeth of the defense, open look for three, and Liam Davis, that time he was behind the line. His second field goal ends the 8-0 Southern Columbia run, and it's 27-20. Grishkevich jacks one up. And a travel called against Southern Columbia on the offensive rebound. Gallagher returns for the Tigers with Dominic Fedorov as well. Foy and Grishkevich go to the bench. Another Sem turnover. That's been an issue in this first quarter. Give the Tigers credit. They've played some really good hard-nosed defense in these first two quarters. All the Seminary turnovers just about have been forced. Michaels somehow kept the pivot foot. Leahy gets bailed out. As a foul whistle against Swank. His first. Team's third. Check that, their fourth. And a 5-second call against Aiello. Sem just took way too long getting into that set. Tigers with the basketball and a 7-point lead. 1:22 to play before the break. Carter goes glass. Isaac Carter has 6 first half points, 29-20. Leahy got it for three. Second three-point shot for Brian Leahy in the half. He's got a team-high 10 points. The lead cut down to 6. 30 seconds to play in the half. Looks like the Tigers might just take this into halftime, try to get the final shot. They spread it out for Garrett. 8 seconds to play, second quarter. Aiello stays in front and gets the steal and draws the foul, and that'll be free throws with 0.5 seconds to play before the break. So a big sequence here. Southern Columbia, you figure, was going to take the last shot and go in at worst with a 6-point lead, maybe more. But instead, Aiello with an opportunity here. Blue Knights 3 for 5 from the stripe. Knights can't take advantage. First half in the books. Southern Columbia led the whole way. And they go to the locker room with a 29-23 lead over Wyoming Seminary. Paul Garrity with you. We'll be back with the second half in just a bit. Back here at Wyoming Seminary High School, Paul Garrity with you. Second half of the second half of our basketball doubleheader here on Service Electric Channel 509 on this Saturday. Wyoming Seminary girls victorious over Susquehanna in our opener. Seminary boys squad down by 6, 29-23 as we start the third quarter. And Southern Columbia extends the lead after another Seminary turnover. That's been the story of this game. Seminary turnovers turn into easy baskets on the other end for Southern Columbia. And maybe another one here. Britton cashes in the turnover for a deuce. Brian Britton's got a couple quick buckets here in the quarter. He's got 9 for the game. And the 6-point halftime lead quickly surges up to 10. Matches the largest lead of the night. I did check with the scorebook to get an idea of why my totals are different than the scoreboard, and I found that out as Jack Novelli switches home at 3. And the Tigers stepped on the baseline. Checked with the book at halftime, and it's exactly what I thought happened. The 2-point shot that was called a 2 by Liam Davis early in the first half. Novelli for 3 again. Jack Novelli's not letting me get my story out. The 2-point shot that was very close. I actually thought it looked like a 3, but I didn't have a very good look at it. It was called a 2 by at least one official on the court that I looked at. But the book gave Davis a 3. So as Britton knocks down another mid-range shot, if I'm correct, which I believe I am, I think Seminary has an extra point than they should, and that's not on the officials. That's on the table. So it's 35-29 Southern Columbia. Hopefully that doesn't come into play. Aiello pushes one up from 12 feet. And like he did on the free throw in the first half, banks it in. Seminary scored the last 6, and an offensive foul whistle against Britton. Shoving off, trying to get free for that lob. First foul of the quarter against either team, and that's the third against Brian Britton. He goes to the bench with 5 minutes to play in the third. Double team comes against Novelli, who has had the hot hand in this quarter. And another Southern Columbia steal. Offensive foul called against Nate Gallagher. So a little momentum back to the Knights now. They've scored the last 6. Michaels sets up Kraus for an open look. And a foul called against Aiello on the rebound. That's the second against Wyoming Seminary's point guard. 35-31 Tigers. 4:21 to play in the third. Carter in deep. Fedorov has it blocked. And again, Leahy with 2 blocks. Tigers keep it and Carter scores. Well, Southern Columbia, like they are in the football field, quick to the loose balls. And the Carter basket brings the lead back up to 6. Timeout, Blue Knights. 3:56 to play third quarter. They trail Southern Columbia 37-31 on Service Electric TV. (37-31), Southern Columbia leads Wyoming Seminary. Game 2 of our Saturday doubleheader here on Channel 509. If you're watching this game on Channel 9 and you have a high-definition television, well, get on over to Channel 509. You can watch this game in high def. Jacob Hoya has 12 points for Southern Columbia to lead the way. Brian Britton has 11. For Wyoming Seminary, it's been Brian Leahy and Jack Novelli with 10 apiece. Kraus, double team, turns it over. Fortunate bounce off the head of Fedorov. And it'll be 2 free throws coming for Brian Leahy. Nate Gallagher picks up his second. Leahy's 4 for 4 from the line tonight. Seminary 5 for 8 as a team. They trailed by 4. Down deep, Swank. Don't know that he ever had a great handle on that ball. Knights can cut it to a one-possession game since about midway through the second quarter, if I recall. Novelli, a deep one. And Carter collects the loose ball. Swank. And the offensive rebound to Hoy. And he'll go back to the free throw line. That's just the third free throw attempt of the game for the Tigers. As Dominic Fedorov goes to the Tiger bench, Braden Gerskavage back in. .238 to play in the third. It's a 5-point Southern Columbia lead. It's been man-to-man the whole way for the Tigers. Free for 3. Finn Ruderman, who just came back in the game. Novelli grabs the loose ball and scores. Smallest the lead has been in a very long time, 38-35 Tigers. Hoy elevates, can't get it. Carter, he's been tough to deal with in the middle. First trip to the line for Carter tonight. He's got 8 points and a whole bunch of loose balls. First appearance into the game for Travis Wegranovich. 39-35. .147 here in the third. Novelli has his pocket picked by Wegranovich. Garrett, little teardrop right baseline. Not often you see a shot like that from the baseline. Usually you see that running type of shot more straight away, but Garrett knocked it down. His first basket, 41-35, Southern Columbia. Well, officials thought Dan Messinger called a timeout, but he was actually saying side out or 5 out. I'm actually surprised that doesn't happen more often. That 5 out call from the bench. Michaels, the spin, and the miss. 5 out is a popular call by coaches when they want to spread the floor. And there's lots of times that I'm watching a game and Joe Zielinski's got an offensive foul against Carter. That's the third against Carter. 3 fouls against each team. Ruderman's entry feed deflected and taken away. Extra pass. And the first basket of the game for Anthony Martino, who also just checked in. Five straight points by the Tigers after the Seminary had closed to within 3. Here's Novelli. And every time Southern Columbia appears ready to run away with this game, it's been Novelli with the answer. 43-38. Open look, Griscavage, yes. Big shot for Braden Griscavage at the third quarter horn. 3 quarters in the books, and it's Southern Columbia 46 and Wyoming Seminary 38. You're watching high school basketball on Service Electric TV. Well, it was an action-packed finish to that third quarter. Lead kind of fluctuated between 3 and 10 for Southern Columbia at various points throughout that quarter, but it's an 8-point game as we get set to start the fourth. Paul Garrity here with you on Service Electric, channel 509 in high definition. We'll have 4 games on the schedule next week here on channel 509. Monday night we'll have Williamsport taking on Holy Redeemer. A 6 o'clock start for that one. Tuesday night, another 6 o'clock start. A boys game between Wyoming Seminary and Blue Ridge. And then 7 o'clock starts on both Thursday and Friday. Fedorov grabs the offensive rebound and nudges the lead back up to 10. 7-0 run by the Tigers. Seven different Southern Columbia players have scored in this second half alone. Novelli jacks it up and hits. That's the 4th three-point shot for Novelli since halftime. Trying to single-handedly keep his team in it. It's 48-41. Near steal by Ruderman. And a kick ball by Kraus with 7:03 to play. Brian Britton back in the game for the Tigers, replacing Griscavage. Fedorov got a good look, couldn't hit. And Brian Britton, who's been hammering the offensive glass all night, gets another easy 2. 50-41. They close out quickly on the hot shooting Novelli. Kraus the jump stop and gets it from 13 feet. First points of the game for Terry Kraus, 50-43 Southern Columbia. And a kick ball with 6:12 to play. Hoy and Carter back on the floor. Southern Columbia has only made one three-point shot in this game. That was the buzzer beater to end the third by Gerskavich. Davis for three. That's his third of the night. And the 9th three-point field goal by Sem to close to within 4. Tigers just can't put this Seminary team away. And a chance to close within a basket. Kraus carving out space over Britton. 2-point game. 8-0 run by the Knights over the last 2 minutes. 5:36 to play in the fourth. We got a good one here in Kingston. It's 50-48, Tigers. Mentioned the 4 games next week here on Service Electric. 6 o'clock starts on Monday and Tuesday for those boys matchups at Holy Redeemer and back here at Wyoming Sem. Thursday night will be over at Wilkes-Barre area at 7 o'clock for their girls game against the Mountaineers of Dallas. And then a 7 o'clock start on the boys' side on Friday night to close out our 2023 basketball coverage as Wyoming Valley West takes on Crestwood. All those games right here in high definition on channel 509. 5:36 to play in regulation. Seminary has scored the last 8 points, but they've never led in this game. They trail 50-48 to Southern Columbia. They go to Britton out of the timeout, and he lost it. Kraus has it knocked away from behind, but it'll be a baseline inbounds. With 5:18 to play. Jack Novelli, 18 points for Sem, 14 here in the second half. Kraus has his pass knocked away. Novelli passes on the screen from Leahy. That would have given the Knights their first lead. Tigers on the move. Britton attacks the rack and scores. 10 points in the second half for Brian Britton. He's got 15 for the game. It's a 4-point Tiger lead. 4:40 to play. Kraus working against Gallagher. Now Leahy to the 10. And a travel called against Leahy. Had to be something. Had to be either a foul or a travel. And they got the travel, which looked like the right call to me. 4:15 to play. Garrett, extra pass. Carter maybe not expecting the pass, and a foul on the open floor goes against Ben Garrett of Southern Columbia. That's the first foul of the quarter against either team. Nobody from either team has more than 3 fouls. Novelli. Kraus passes on the open shot. Leahy working on Britton. High arcing 3 from the corner. Terry Kraus gets the shooter's roll. 10 3-point shots made by the Knights. They're within 1. Britton slices through defenders. Timeout Southern Columbia. 3:20 to play in the fourth. The Tigers clinging to a 3-point lead on Service Electric TV. Been a pretty entertaining game here in Kingston tonight. Again, the opening game of the year for Southern Columbia after that run through the state football playoffs. 7th consecutive PIAA title for Jim Roth and the Tigers. Pretty impressive performance here considering at least a couple of these guys probably haven't held a basketball in their hands very much in recent weeks. Carter on the overplay gets the tip away. 2:55 to play. 54-51 Tigers. Kind of a stagnant trip here for Sem. Leahy. And a whistle and a tie-up. Possession arrow to Wyoming Seminary. Sem trails by 3 with 2:26 to play. Leahy, difficult shot. Britton might have got a piece of it, but they say no. It's Tiger basketball. And a foul called against Sem underneath. That's going to end up being a pretty good foul for Sem, as Britton had really good post position. And Dan Messenger is going to call a timeout. 54-51 Southern Columbia. Just under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. If I'm correct, I'm not sure I am, so Wyoming Seminary has just one timeout left. Used a couple early in the game when Southern Columbia really came out of the gates strong. 54-51 Tigers. Foy, nice dish inside. Britton's got another easy bucket. He's got 19 in the game. Back up to a 2-possession lead for Southern Columbia, 1:40 to play. Dangerous pass by Novelli, and Sem lucky to keep it. Lewis Michaels back in. Kraus to the Seminary bench. Carter's doing all he can to deny the basketball from Novelli. Leahy finds Novelli. He's been hot from that spot, but not that time. Well, they got exactly what they wanted on that possession. But it doesn't go for Novelli, and now the Tigers can run clock. Britton, second effort, yes, and the foul for Brian Britton. And his athleticism underneath has been a difference maker for Southern Columbia in this second half. Two more for Jacob Foy. It's a 9-point lead. The clock hasn't started. They also didn't put the points up on the board. Scoreboard says 58-51. I actually thought it was 60-51. And they're going to try to get it sorted out here at the table. Again, going back to the first half, I thought they gave Sem an extra. I actually thought they gave Seminary an extra point in the first half on a Liam Davis shot. There's definitely been some scoreboard issues in this game. So they might have to add up all the points in the book. And now they got it. They put the 60 up on the scoreboard. So timeout Wyoming Seminary. They trailed by 9 with 54 seconds to play. So Southern Columbia looks like they're going to get a victory in their opening game. Seminary with the loss here will drop to 2-4 unless they could do something really special in the last 54 seconds. They trail 60-51. 16 second half points for number 13, Brian Britton for Southern Columbia. I'm told by some fans that he's 4 points away from 1,000. Novelli off the mark, and that will probably do it. Carter puts an exclamation point on this one. Carter, the third Tiger into double figures tonight, 62-51. Novelli. Well, Seminary's going to fall short tonight despite hitting 10 shots from behind the arc. And the foul will send Britton to the line. Nope. They still have fouls to give. Have another to give here. We'll see if they want to stretch things out here. Gallagher will dribble it out, and that'll do it. Good game tonight here in Kingston. Well played by both teams. Impressive opener by Southern Columbia as they get the road victory, 62-51 over Wyoming Seminary. Hope you enjoyed both halves of our basketball doubleheader here today. Wyoming Seminary girls victorious in the opener. Knights fall short in their attempt at a basketball sweep here at the Carpenter Gym. Our next broadcast will be Monday evening at 6 p.m. from Holy Redeemer High School as the Royals take on Williamsport in boys basketball action. Again, a 6 o'clock start for that one on Monday. My name is Paul Garrity. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. You've been watching high school basketball here on Service Electric TV.